So let's talk about the Squier Affinity series basses. In this case, you're looking at a picture of a jazz bass that I bought for my niece. They also make a PJ bass now. They used to make just a precision bass. Now it's a PJ bass. That just means that it has a jazz style pickup like this on the bottom and a precision style pickup, which are two little split pickups up top. If you don't know what the difference of those are, don't worry about it. It's just a different style. I prefer the jazz style because they come with a thinner neck, um, both in the depth, back, behind it, and width. And in my personal opinion, which is a pretty widely held opinion, um, that just makes it easier to play. So it's one less complication that will frustrate you when you're trying to play. It'll make it easier for you to find your notes on your neck, um, regardless of whether, it gets blamed a lot on the inability to do that on a precision neck is blamed a lot on improper technique. Well, of course you're going to have improper technique. You're a beginner. Let's get some of the wood out of the way and just make it a little less complicated for you to learn how to play this thing. That's what a jazz bass does for you. The jazz pickups are noise canceling, so sometimes the precision ones are a little noisier. I think that's why they include the J on the PJ ones, and so you can crank that up and you're not getting a lot of extraneous noise, a humming from it. Um, these don't suffer that issue, at least not that I have experienced. Um, Very simple, two volume knobs and a tone knob. You get a volume knob for each pickup, and that helps you adjust kind of the sounds that you're getting out of it. And the tone knob helps you get to just adjust the tones you're getting out of it. Um, the jack for your cable going into your amp or going into your, for your cord going into your laptop, um, plugs right into the front. It's nice, sturdy. It's surrounded by metal, so the chances of, instead of plastic, so the chances of it breaking free and wiggling free are a lot less. So you're not going to crack your pick guard pulling your cable in and out of there. I like that feature about it. The fit and finish for the money was more than acceptable. Nothing that is a beginner that you would notice and be hampered by. Some of the cheaper ones out there trying to be Squiers, um, they'll have really bad frets that just aren't polished down at all. These aren't polished all that great, but they're definitely, someone took the time to polish them down a little bit so they're not going to rough up your hands. The action is pretty good for the amount of money that you spend, and the action is the height of the strings off the deck and off the neck. And why a lower action is good is the lower it is, the less effort you have to put into pushing down the strings, which can make you faster and not hurt your fingers as much, right? Not wear out your fingers as much. Um, and you get fatigued not as quickly. But quality comes into play there. And a professional setup comes into play there. Some bases will be, or cheaper bases than this will be such low quality that no matter how much you paid a professional luthier, which is a guitar mechanic, to try and adjust this neck here and make changes to it, they'll just never get that action as low as you'd like it. Um, I, I don't know how low you could get these if you were to spend and waste your money trying to get them down really low. I think if it becomes a point where you're getting a lot of fret buzz, I think you can just watch a video on truss rod adjustments, which is a rod that runs down here and you tighten it from the top and really, really slow increments and then let it sit for a day for the wood to adjust because wood does not change shape very quickly. And just little tiny adjustments are all you need. Um, and maybe some fine tuning at the saddle, right? There are videos to do that. But for a beginner, honestly, out of the box, they do their best to make sure that you don't have to make a lot of adjustments. Very, very minor ones at most. Maybe a guitar teacher, if you're paying for a guitar teacher for your kid, they'll be kind enough to make some minor adjustments to you if needed. It's very rare that you're going to need to. I only go into that because more expensive, if you spend a whole lot more money on the guitar, it's going to come with a lower action. But because your kid or you are just starting out, you would be absolutely insane to spend the kind of money you need to spend to get definitely guaranteed lower. I find the Sterling by Music Man sub bass, which new is about $50 more. Actually more than 50 bucks, $80 more somewhere others. It's $300 shipped. This one is $229 shipped, so $70 more. There's um, some improvement out of the box in fit and finish quality and quality of the pickups, right? So if you already know you're committed, then maybe the Sterling by Music Man is worth the extra $50. It was the one I preferred and kept and learned to play with myself. Play for myself, not play by myself. Um, it was the one I preferred, but there's nothing objectively wrong with these. I like them. They're fun to play. There's some a little bit more extraneous noise, noises you don't want mechanical, that you just mechanically get from the fact that it's not high-end, super quality $1,000 guitar that you don't experience as much in the Sterling by Music Man's. But again, as a beginner, are you going to notice or even care? Probably not. Honestly, intermediate level, this would be more than sufficient for the way that I play. I'm just too picky and spoil myself too much, over birthdays and stuff over the years, over the last 10 years. I've spent money on basses that their quality far exceeds what I need. Um, so if it's good enough for me at my level, I think it's more than suitable for you at your level. I think it would not be wrong for you to fall in love with this as your first bass. Um, I certainly would in your shoes. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a neat little guitar. I think it's worth the money. Let's look at some new ones, right? So let's talk about price. I spent, I don't know if I already said this, I spent $100 shipped off this on eBay because of a tiny little scuff. So I managed to find an amazing deal on this, totally unplayed, unused, other than the fact that in shipping it had a little scuff on it before the guy received it, and he didn't return it. I don't know why. From Guitar Center, who I'm not affiliated with, I'm just occasionally shop there. Like I said, $230 plus shipping. Right now, the red that they come in is a little different in person. This is super, super sexy. I mean, incredibly sexy in person, that race red. I just can't rave about that color enough. It's very cool looking. As is the slick silver. Very, very, very sexy in person. So much so that I wish some of the higher ones came, more expensive ones came in this color. I don't see anything wrong. I think it's worth the 230 plus tax that you're going to spend on it. I don't see anything wrong doing that. I also don't see anything wrong, because maybe your kid, just wouldn't be as happy with something that had maybe some scuffs or someone else had played it before. I also don't see anything wrong with going on eBay and hunting for a deal. Um, especially for an entry level instrument. Most people's first instrument is a pawn shop, you know, garbage bass. These are not garbage. There's nothing wrong with trying to get a deal on one. Um, so that is my opinion and take on the Squier Affinity Jazz basses. Um, please like, share, feel free to comment. Um, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. And we appreciate your time taken to watch this video.